Hi Taurus, this is going to be a tarot reading for your sign between the week of the 8th and the 14th of September. Let's begin. So your pre-week energy here is you're gaining some sort of strength in regards to inner strength. You're gaining some sort of resilience. You're realizing you have some sort of resilience towards something that's keeping you trapped in this moment of time. This is your pre-week energy, so this is something you're going through at the moment. You're gaining some sort of some inner strength in regards to something that's keeping you feeling trapped, feeling imprisoned. This could be something within your mind. Um, this is maybe something that you do as a career as well, or something that you do that's keeping you feeling trapped. But you're gaining some sort of strength to break through from this situation. You're gaining inner strength. You're realizing how resilient you are. You're brave enough to overcome this sort of barrier. It feels like a barrier, almost like you're sticking your hand into the lion's mouth or whatever it is. It's like you need courage to do this. You need strength and courage to do this, whatever it is. It could be something that is quite toxic for you. It could be something that you've just sort of unknowingly gotten into, and it doesn't seem to stop for whatever reason. But I see you breaking free from whatever it is, and you here prior to the week of prior to the week, you're being fulfilled. You're feeling fulfillment. You're feeling wealthy. You're taking leadership of your life. You're very strong in your power. There's two bulls back here, and this is like almost symbolizing you sitting in your power. It's like you're sitting on a throne, Taurus's throne, the throne of Taurus. This is kind of what I'm getting here. Those are like a chair. They're part of the chair. Those two bulls. I don't think that they are actually. They're just there, but they look like, they're part of the chair. So you're very strong, sitting in your power. Prior to the week beginning. Feeling fulfilled within yourself, taking back your power from whatever this situation is that's got you feeling trapped. It's got you feeling like you're imprisoned in some kind of way, and you're really breaking through in a very calm way, is what I'm getting. It's not aggressive, or it's not it's not very heated. It's very calm how you're going about this. If you can see the lady here, she's very pure in what she's doing. She almost just sort of manifests out of nowhere in the fool's journey as he's going along. He just sees this woman out of nowhere. She just appears out of nowhere. This lion is trying to kill the fool, and she kind of just appears out of nowhere, and she sticks her hand in his mouth. She calms him down, and you can see how calm she is on her face. You're really stepping into your power as you take back control of yourself, take back control for whatever situation that this is that's plaguing you at the moment. It's keeping you away from what you truly desire, and you have a realization about this, but it's like your emotions have run dry in regards to this situation. emotionally depleted. It's like you don't care about whatever this thing is. Maybe it seemed good, from before you started getting into it, and now it's like your emotions have run dry. You're done with it. Basically, you're finished with it. It's got you really in your mind of like, should I go forward? Should I not go forward? It's like analysis paralysis. You're really debating on whether or not should you move forward? Should you stay where you are? Should you go back? I feel like you're kind of like in the crossroads with moving forwards, but you're not sure if you should take that step. This is your confirmation here, if this is for you, that this is your reading, and that you should definitely take this step. This is going to allow you to sit in the power, or your power. You're taking back your power. That pentacle there is almost representing your power that you're taking back. It's like you've been giving your power away to something. Something's been taking your energy, unknowingly, I feel like, but you've had like a suspicion about it, that maybe this thing isn't right for you. You've been getting intuitive nudges, is what I'm hearing. Intuitive downloads as well about what this is. You might have been having daydreams while you're about this thing during your day, any time of the day, or just having strange daydreams like that are kind of like they've been like a warning for you, a precursor of like, if you continue down this road, it's going to lead to something really bad. But you're stepping out of it anyway. And you're sitting very beautifully, feeling fulfilled by the end of the week. Feeling wealth, your wealth of energy. Wealth can be in many different kinds of way, and I feel like it's a wealth of your energy. I feel like you've been really drained here. These Ten of Swords are like, they've been like pylons of like zapping away at your energy, almost like draining you of your energy. But I see you here starting the week in a very interesting energy. You're having some sort of breakthrough. You're having some sort of breakthrough. It's got something to do with your spirituality and your physical reality. You're having some sort of fundamental breakthrough in terms of your understanding. The waves are gonna wash over you. I feel like you're welcoming these waves of change. Is there saying something like waves of change or something like that? I don't know what it is, but that's what I'm hearing. Waves of change, and it's like you're protected from ruin in this moment. You're protected. You just need to be vulnerable in this situation. Between Monday and Wednesday, this is your energy. Just be in a state of vulnerability, and what you desire is going to come in for you. I see your heart chakra being very strong here. Your heart and your throat and your sixth chakra, or your third eye, being very strong here. The more vulnerable you are, you're allowing these waves of change to overtake you. This is gonna purify you. It's gonna fulfill you even further. It might have something to do with love. It's your happiness. You tie love with your happiness and your joy. And this is something that is, both of them are coming in for you very strongly. I don't feel like this is a person. Is this a person? No, it's you. It's you. It's not a person that's coming in for you. It's you yourself. You're almost being purified of cleansed. This is the word. I feel like you've already done you're doing the purification prior to the week. You're breaking out of this energy here. I feel like this is your purification. Using your inner strength. You might be using your inner strength. I feel like this situation might feel a bit sticky. It might be something that doesn't want to necessarily budge. You might make a decision and be like, I don't know, it's like it's sticking onto you. But I feel like you do need to have a heavy hand with whatever this situation is. It's not serving you. But I feel like you're purifying yourself here, and at the beginning of the week, you're being cleansed and enlightened to a new beginning. But again, you're already in this energy of feeling pure. So this purity is something that is key for you during this time. Purity is key. Purity and vulnerability. The more naked you can be with the universe, the more your blessings are gonna come in for you. The more what you desire is gonna come in for you. Um, is what I mean to say. Um, but again, you're being balanced here very strongly in the physical and the spiritual. You know, I see you being having your energy like exuberant. You're like this little child here on the horse. You know, you're loving life. You know, your energy is just amplifies, becoming more and more positive, and it's becoming more and more warm. You're gonna have a more zest for life at the beginning of the week, between Monday and Wednesday. You're gonna have a general zest for life, increased zest for life. It's gonna be wild and untamed, and I feel like that's who you are. You're quite wild and untamed. You don't like to listen to people. You don't like to listen to people. You just kind of want to do your own thing, and that's good. That's a good end. I'm laughing because it's a good thing. I do similar stuff, to be honest. Um, but you're definitely like overcoming this hurdle. It's like a hurdle that you're overcoming. There's like a hurdle here, and it's a wall, but it's coming. I'm seeing it as a hurdle. It's like um, it's this hurdle you're overcoming, and you're doing it quite effortlessly. Look, you can see you're kind of like the baby here, and you're being led by spirit in this, and you know you're being led by spirit. You know you're getting straight. You know you have a very strong connection within your crown chakra here. You're having downloads, intense downloads, mostly during the daytime is what I'm getting. So you're more of a person. The more you move around, the more you walk and exercise and just be outside during the daytime, the more of these downloads you get. You're quite connected to nature, but as you can see, you're like this little baby on the horse, and the horse is, you know, almost like um, your work, your what you've done for yourself, like the decisions you've made, like your being. It's like your being. Your what's the word? It's like you're conscious in a way. It's like you're conscious of the decisions that you've made. Is carrying you over this hurdle without you realizing. You're like the baby, just enjoying yourself. You don't have to worry about how high the hurdle is, because your horse is quite powerful and strong. You know, because you've been consciously making the right. You've used a lot of discernment in decisions in your life in general. You've used a lot of discernment of, you know, what's best. You've really played, not played, but you've really made decisions from a moral standpoint of like, is this right? Is this wrong? I really feel your energy here of really trying to use your discernment. Again, in situate against all odds. Against all odds is what I'm hearing. Like you've been in situations where you stood alone, and you've had to use your discernment and say, is this right or is this not right? And this is what's made, you know, your horse so powerful. Your horse is like your representation of your conscious decisions that you've made. Your accumulated karma. There we go. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Your accumulated karma. Your accumulated karma and your conscious decisions. That's what it is. They've really manifested into like a vehicle for you to move forward. I think that's something that you need to know. Maybe that might be the title for this video. You know, your conscious decisions and your karma has made has generated you a horse, so to speak. But I see you finding, you know, this sort of fulfillment within yourself because of this. You know, whatever these waters are that are washing over you, these waters of change, these waves of change, they're gonna help you heal in a massive way. Spiritually, you're upgrading. You're being blessed spiritually. I think you're being noticed by some divine spirits, some gods, goddesses, and they're taking favor with you. I see you almost being very grateful as you're going through this, as you're feeling this energy of joy and delight. You're being very grateful. I think you're realizing that you are being blessed in the spiritual during your dreams. You might not remember, you won't remember, but you're gonna have dreams where you're gonna be grateful, and you're gonna wake up between Monday and Wednesday feeling very happy. This is your sign as well that you've shown gratitude in the spiritual realm. I see it being very honest and being very modest and honest. you know, but you're kind of looking back at everything that you've been through and realizing that you don't have fatigue anymore. You're not as anxious as you used to be. I feel like you used to be very anxious about making decisions, about doing things, and that's kind of what made you stuck in whatever this energy is that you need to break out, what you're breaking out during this week. But it's kind of like you're this anxiety kept you in this situation. It kept you in a sense of feeling like not remembering, not remembering yourself, not remembering how much power you truly have. Like, you're coming to this realization because things are getting really heated that you have the inner strength. I feel like things are coming to like a pinnacle, like a pinnacle. Yeah, things are coming to a pinnacle, and you're realizing what your power is. You're realizing that I am the one that is able to take an action, is able to use my power to take inspired action to what it is that I desire. I can heal myself. You're in this energy. This is who you are truly. This is you, Taurus. This is your healing. You're very you're very connected to the elements, is what I'm getting here. You love the elements. You love water. You love the sun. You love rocks. You love leaves. You love leaves on a tree in the sunlight. You love the sunlight in general. I'm getting you like to roll in the grass, like you feel like not literally, but you feel like like when dogs they go into the park, and they roll on the grass because they love it. I'm getting that. I mean, I love dogs. Don't get me wrong. I grew up with dogs. Like, my first role model was a dog. Dogs are great, but like I'm seeing here that you have like a very big zest for life. Like, you really like to feel connected to nature, and nature's very connected to you. I feel like you move very quickly and you learn very quickly, and spiritually speaking, you learn very quickly. You're blessed by Hermes here. Hermes has been blessed to you in some kind of way. Maybe you're quick-witted when you speak to people. People don't understand. Like, maybe you're able to cuss people, like, and they don't know, well, like, where did that come from? You're blessed by Hermes, and you have great favor with him. But you're very powerful. You're kind of like, you see here, spiritually speaking, he's got like 3 infinity symbols over his head, and here, as you're realizing your power, you're kind of taking back your power. You're realizing you have the inner strength. You're kind of you have the enlightenment. You have new perspectives, and this is what's bringing in your power. You're sort of connecting more to your power, but you've got 2 more of those, 2 more layers, I would say. It goes more in depth. It's more mastery that you need within your spiritual power, but you're tapping into this during this week, which is fantastic. And you're gaining enlightenment about who you really are. You're truly getting enlightenment about who you are, and yourself in general. It's new perspective. There's a new perspective, new way of looking at things. That's helping you break out of that situation, whatever it is. But I feel like, in the future, you're not going to have so much anxiety. You're going to realize that you're more, you're able to contemplate more before you take actions, because you have a lot of experience now, just in life in general. And your connection to nature benefits you in a very major way. There's your confirmation. If you didn't hear that, or if you did hear that, there's a bell ringing. Midweek between Wednesday and Friday, you're sort of in this energy of seeing how resilient you are. You're like, I've been through a lot. this change that's washing over me, is motivating me, is making me very driven to be successful, to go after what it is that I desire, to go after what success looks like for me. You're very motivated and focused, and this is what this is bringing in for you, is bringing in sort of this, I'm resilient. I've been through battles, I've been through all of, I've been through a lot, but I'm very powerful at the same time. Like, I'm not going to allow situations to over I'm not going to allow myself to be in situations like this again, where I'm the one that's doing it to myself. I know I'm much more powerful. In the story here of the Nine of Wands, he has a battle with some guy who's an evil wand maker. So this guy here is a wand maker, and he's like the first one that makes wands that are good. And people are rejecting him, and he goes through a whole cycle of trying to convince people that his wands can be used for good, because magic's deemed as evil. And he comes to a point where he has this battle. Some evil wizard comes to fight him, and he has this huge battle with this evil wizard, and he does prosper over the evil wizard, and the evil wizard decides to become his student, which he does accept. But he's very battle weary at this point, because of this battle. Like, they have a ridiculously huge battle, and the whole city becomes destroyed. So I'm getting here is that you're very strong. Like, you're able to hold your ground in situations. You're able to. I feel, yeah. I'm hearing you have overcome so many hardships and difficult beginnings and situations. Beginnings that led to nowhere. You've had beginnings that led to nowhere, but they were for your spiritual growth. And a lot of them are, it's put you in this energy of feeling like you're fatigued you're battle weary, but now that you're looking at it now from a different perspective, this energy is within you already. But as you're moving and you're letting these waves of change wash over you, as you're letting these waves of change wash over you, I might change the title actually, because not everyone's going to get it. Like, you're conscious, and maybe I might change the title. Anyway, as you let these waves of change wash over you, you're going to realize that you're going to look at it. You already got this different perspective. You already got this prior to the week of your strength, of your power, your inner strength. This is who you are, and you're going to realize that, hey, I'm actually quite resilient. Like, I've been through situations, I've been through making last stands. I thought many times that this was my last stand, but I'm still standing. Maybe you should listen to that song by Elton John, Still Standing. It's a good song. But it's giving you motivation, and it's giving you a lot of focus. You're being driven. Your energy is very passionate, and it's a very good passion. It's not a bad passion. Here he's trying to help save a woman from being prosecuted, and he's charging off, and he's a royal, and he doesn't need to save this woman, but he's kind of in love with her, so he's rushing off. So he has good intentions, and your intentions moving forward are very good, as what I can see. Like, it's not stemming from a place of what's the word? It's not stemming from a place of like just you thinking about you. You're thinking about the general good, is what I'm getting here. And without you realizing, this is completing you. This is like making you whole. You're integrating your power within yourself. You're within your being in this week. You're starting to, is what I'm hearing. You're gonna flourish like a flower. Oh, I just realized. You're flourishing like a flower, and you're integrating, what you've accomplished prior to the week, whatever the situation that you're currently going through this week. With this, because this is like a pre-week and then a week, so it's kind of like the pre-week energy is like this week, right? So whatever you're going through right now is spiritually helping you grow in a major way, in such a major way that you're you're becoming more whole within yourself. You're integrating your power. I feel like here, right now, you're more physically stronger than you are spiritually stronger, and you're learning to integrate your spiritual power within your being, and you're able to integrate it very powerfully. You're accomplishing the integration here by realizing how resilient you are. Resilience is a very strong. I think I've got too many titles for you, honestly. I think I'm just gonna call you. You're very resilient. I don't know. I'll think of it after, to be honest. But anyway, towards the end of the week, between Friday and Sunday, I see you making some discoveries within yourself about your future. You're making some plans about your future, but you're discovering things about yourself, things about your spirituality, things about yourself, and you're expanding. You're expanding your horizon. You're kind of having this sort of self belief within yourself. You're seeing where you've been and where you're going now. You're realizing that this whole time you're going through all of these things, you were evolving. You weren't. It looked like you were staying still, but you were evolving. And now, at the end of this week, you're able to go to the place where this card is almost like, for me, it's like, here you have this land where he's come to the end of. It's just a normal like grass, and you can't see the colors, but it's like grass and rocks and stuff. And then he's at the edge of it, and at the edge of it, there's like this desert of gold. It's literally gold. I see it as gold. I wouldn't say it's a desert. I would say more or less like, I mean, yeah, a desert of gold, and it's just pure gold. It doesn't look gold; it's actual gold. And you're realizing that your future's a lot more abundant than what you thought it was prior to getting to this situation. You're going towards your celebration, your happiness, your harmony, your community, your tribe. Maybe you've been looking for your tribe, but this is what you're going towards now. You're realizing that who you are in this point now is somebody that had to do the work. You had to go through what you had to go through to get to where it is you are now, because you're becoming somebody that is able to meet their tribe. You're becoming somebody that is able to and be in the energy of being able to be that person, if that makes sense. Like, you're looking back at yourself and saying, if I stayed the way I was, I could never find my tribe. I could never have an abundant life the way I desired, because I had to grow and understand that I was growing. You're leaving this sort of need for control, this need for security. You're leaving this need for security. You're being more free. You're being more confident within your energy. You're planning for the future. You're very confident within yourself now that you're able to do whatever it is you desire. You're leaving all of this behind, this sort of need, this control, like that I need this and I need that and I need this. You're just kind of going with it. You're being one with your nature. You're being one with nature itself. And this is your actual guidance, to be more like this, to be more like this child, and be more connected to nature. Just know you're being guided along this journey. This is not like by chance or whatever. You're fully being guided to leave this behind, to leave this sort of need for security, need for control, need in general, like that neediness you have. I feel like you have a bit of a neediness to have things the way that you want them to be, and not being open to a different way, because that way is not very fruitful. It's not very beneficial to you. It's not giving you exactly what it is that you want. It's like up here you have this one pentacle, right? Prior to the week, this is your energy as you're sitting in your energy, right? But you have one pentacle. You feel fulfilled. You feel, quite. You feel like the leader of your life. But there's only one pentacle, and here you've got four pentacles. So it's like you're grabbing everything that you can, and that's not making you abundant. What's making you more abundant is having this one pentacle. This one pentacle is causing these grapes to grow. It's causing your chair, to manifest as like this sort of bull chair, where you've got two bulls on the side, which is signifying for you, Taurus, right? and you've got castles, so it's creating everything that you desire. This one pentacle, and if you look at the difference between the two, he's really holding tightly over here, and he's got just one hand over here, like he just. If I don't know if you can see it properly, but he's just sort of like relaxing, and he's got one hand over it, like not, he's not trying to force it. Here he's got two hands, he's just like this. It's not even a he, it's a she. But you're leaving this behind. You're being called to like sort of let this go, like let this sort of behavior go, because it's not fruitful for you. It's not giving you what you really desire. It's not giving you what you really want from life. It's not making you happy without you realizing it. You might think it's making you happy. I'm getting that. You might be a bit annoyed with me by saying this, but I'm only speaking the truth. I only speak the truth. But it's not making you happy internally. Your spirit knows this. Like, what makes you more happy is connecting to your nature, because you're very powerful. You're very powerful, and you do need to connect to your nature a lot more, because that's going to unlock your power. It's going to unlock the different levels of your power further and further. As you can see, that's you prior to the week coming in, and then that's you in the future. That's your spiritual body. That's who you are in the spiritual realm. But you do definitely need to let go of this sort of need for control, this need for need to secure everything. I need to. You don't need to. You're realizing this anyway. At the end of the week, you're realizing how much you've progressed through life, how much you've achieved. Like, you're realizing that, hey, I am somebody. I am somebody that I look up to, and that's really all that matters. No one needs to really know your story, to be honest. I mean, it's good if they do, but if you know what your story is, and you know what you've overcome. I mean, you just know who you are. You're that guy or that you're that girl. That's where you're kind of standing by the end of the week, and you're making decisions in your future. You're making further discoveries about yourself, and you're planning for the future. You're being very confident within yourself that I don't need to have this need for control. That one wanted to really come out, didn't it? So you're doing your outcome for the week is you're doing some really intense shadow work this week. You're doing some really intense shadow work. You're going into your shadow self and healing your being. You're healing your being. You're integrating your being. You're integrating your nature. Horns are very significant here. Horns for me, as your Taurus, is signifying sort of like your power. Your power is very significant here. Your power, you're healing your power. Maybe you sort of not believed in your power. You've not believed in yourself, that you had the power to make things the way that you wanted them to make. You may be confused by a lot of things that appeared before you, or people, what they were saying, and they had you in a sort of stance of what am I doing? Like, what is my power? What is my purpose? I feel like this reading is not about love. It's not about career. It's about you. Horns. And this is not a bad card. People say this devil card's a bad card. Depends who's reading. And for me, it's not here. It's not showing up as a bad card. It's showing up as you going into your shadow self and reclaiming your power. You're freeing yourself. You're freeing yourself from whatever this is that is imprisoning you. And whatever this is that is imprisoning you is very it's not it's maybe it's something it's something in the physical that's going on in your life at the moment. This could be a job, it could be relationship, it could be relationships in general, it could be love, it could be some sort of habit, addiction, it could be something, but whatever it is, it's affecting you more in the spiritual, more in the mental than it is affecting you in the physical, and that's why you feel discontent. But it's taking your power away from you, but you're freeing yourself from whatever it is, this enslavement, this entrapment, whatever it is, you're freeing yourself. It's got some sort of temptation. Maybe you feel tempted, like it tempts you to do stuff, or maybe it tempts you towards it. Maybe it's an addiction. of some kind, and it tempts you towards it. Every time you try to say, should I go forward, should I not go forward, you get into this sort of analysis paralysis of things in general, right? But you're freeing yourself, you're reclaiming your power, and you're getting back your horns. You're getting back your horns. Maybe that's the title. That's the title of the reading. That's definitely, I don't think I've settled for the title now. Maybe I'm having a lot of indecision this week about things in general. So yeah, just be mindful about that. Whenever I do a reading, if I start doing certain stuff, because I'm not usually like this. I'm quite to the point, if I be honest. But like to come up with even with a title, like I'll come up with a title real quick. But for whatever reason, like in your reading, I'm like going, oh shit, maybe this title, maybe that title. Like I don't do stuff like that. It's like I feel like a kid in the candy shop. Maybe you feel like a kid in the candy shop. During the week. You might feel like a kid in the candy shop during the week, and that's a good energy for you to be in. It's like you need to connect more to that energy of like being a kid in the candy shop. That's your sun energy. That's your sun energy. That's what's helping you connect more to nature. I see you obviously being very quick-witted here and stuff, so it'd be fantastic, if you can be like a kid in the candy shop, if you're quick-witted with the shopkeeper. I used to be like that when I was a kid, so I would go to like shops, and then I was very quick-witted, so I'd manage to get like, they used to have like these pick and mix boxes, and I used to take the sweets, and then, because I was quick-witted, I'd be like, oh yeah, I took less, or I took this, or I'd always end up with more sweets and stuff, so I would always say something, and, and they would give me more sweets, or they'd let me get away with it. I don't know why, but whatever. But I see you sort of, taking your power back, and it's helping you make choices from a point of not being confused, of not being disillusioned with what is presenting itself to you in the future. You're being in a position of really looking at things and saying, what is this? And you're looking for what is really the opportunity. And this is also causing you to be very adventurous, this is your outcome. So you're having opportunities are going to come in for you in the future. As you take your power back, as you free yourself, it's like your energy is being freed and is able to come back, and you're able to put your energy into what it is that you actually desire, and it's manifesting, because your energy is very powerful and spiritual. You just need to bring your spiritual more into your physical vessel, your physical being, and that's going to create these opportunities to manifest in your life, the opportunities that you really desire. And they're going to come in a lot. There's a lot coming in for you. You're going to need your discernment here, the discernment that you've been working on, what you've been realizing that, hey, my future's abundant, that I'm going into like this desert of gold, the sea of gold, and you're realizing that, your power, you're reclaiming your power, and, it's creating, things are coming in. How fast are these things coming in is a good question. It depends on your choice. It depends on how much you want it, how much you want to move forward. It's really a choice of how quickly you let go of this need for control, this need for need. How quickly you let go of it is going to allow these things to come in very quickly. It's a choice of yours. Whatever you choose. If you choose it this week, the things are going to come in for you very quickly. They're going to come in very hard and heavy, and they're going to feel very innocent, and they're going to feel very almost like when you're in your childhood, like when you used to have fun. Like they're going to come in very quickly, like whatever it is. You see all these onesies carrying, they're coming like you've got too much in your hands, like you'll have way too much than what you wanted. Your energy is very powerful is what I'm getting here, and it's causing you to have more than you need, literally. Like he's trying to hold up all of them, and they're all magical, and he's trying to hold them up, and they're like all these, it feels like a burden, and you're like, oh my god, this is too much. but they're gonna come in very very heavy, and they're gonna come in um, like gifts. They're gonna come in very much so like gifts, very quickly, getting within like 6 weeks. Within 6 weeks of this transformation, yeah. Anyway, um, you're going to be then in this. Another one of your outcomes here is that you're going to be taking a more adventurous stance on life, a more adventurous way of looking at things, more adventurous way of being. You're going to be very passionate, taking inspired action. And this is a very good energy for you to be. And look, your horse is there and it's upgraded again. I mean, your horse is quite powerful here, but you know, look at that. It's more like a pony down here. Oh, wait, you've got my finger. It's more like a pony down here, right? And then your horse is like this, you know, this magnificent beast. That's what I'm hearing, magnificent beast. So you're kind of like moving into this energy of being more playful, not playful, adventurous. I'd say you're being more adventurous with your life, with what you desire. Know that you are very spiritually protected as you decide to go along in this journey. You're being treated like royalty in the spiritual realm. You're being very led by spirit in this time as you're being adventurous. It's like you've completed the cycle. You've completed the cycle of you know, being in this sort of I got to keep my eyes out for everything that's coming into my life. You know, I don't know what's going to happen here, don't know what's going to happen there, but I've got to keep fighting. You're leaving all of that behind. It's like you're a new person. It's like you're a new person. Oh, I'm doing it again. I don't know what your title's going to be now. I'm just going to think of something. But it's like you're a new person here. You're taking, you know, a big leap towards being adventurous, being passionate and adventurous. It's very good for you. It's going to be very bountiful. You're going to have a lot more fun from life in general, and you're going to enjoy things a lot more than you previously have. So your challenge for the week is abundance. You know, you're thinking you're not abundant. You're thinking you will never have that sort of celebration. You desire. I feel like you desire like this party, this celebration party of you making it. I feel like you do really desire celebrating your abundance. You desire, but you feel like a challenge here is that you might feel like you're not. It's not going to happen for you. You're thinking this is all in your head. Just be mindful that these challenges, they're not necessarily going to happen to this extreme, but they're going to be present there within physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. They will be present within your reality, depending on how you articulate yourself and how you handle yourself in a way with love, obviously. But how you go about situations, I don't know how, depending on how well you do, these challenges might not even affect you. But you see here, this energy, you're feeling like, should I go forward? It's affecting you very deeply. It's affecting you spiritually. It's affecting you mentally very much more than it is affecting you physically. And you're kind of being put in this energy of like, am I really really worth it? Am I really gonna make it? Am I really gonna be able to celebrate like the way I dreamed of? No, it is coming in for you. Energy, you know who you are. That's the thing. But things haven't come in for you yet, is what I'm getting. And you do need to be aware that it's because you've not fully tapped into your power. You are tapping into your power. You're realizing what your power is prior to this week. And during the week, you're kind of like simmering in it, like you're simmering in your power. You're simmering, not simmering. I would say you're kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? You're bathing in your power. That's the one. I was just imagining like you're in like this water, and the water sort of like healing you, but it's like bubbling at the same time because of so much energy that is in that water, and that water is your power. Maybe being by the element of water might help you. Maybe having some baths. I don't think swimming is a good idea. You need hot water, like a bath or something, like a nice bath. If you get like a nice bath, put some bubbles in there and stuff, you know, can't go wrong. I see another one of your challenges here is to tap into your psychic gifts, tap into your spirituality. Again, it's depending on who you are, and you know how you articulate yourself. It might not be as crazy, but the challenge definitely here is you sort of questioning your spirituality, questioning your psychic gifts. You are very gifted here psychically, and you're very intelligent as well. Again, you're very quick-witted. Again, I'm seeing Hermes here again, but you need to allow yourself to bloom. You need to allow yourself to bloom. You see, like the lotus flower here. You might have a lotus flower tattoo, or you just might like lotus flowers in general. But you need to be patient with yourself in this moment as you're integrating your spiritual power within yourself. Don't rush it. Don't force it in. It's gonna just appear out of nowhere. You're gonna, Finding Nemo. I'm getting like this turtle from Finding Nemo. You know, the little one where he jumps into the current and the current takes him away. Like the wave is taking him or her in your situation, and it's like you need to be like this little turtle. Watch that scene if you can from Finding Nemo, the little turtle. It's like Oscar, jelly man, Oscar, and he just like jumps into like the stream, and the stream just makes him go like crazy. But I see you being like the little turtle, going into these waves of change. It's very powerful, but you need to be patient with it, and you need to be like, just watch that scene, and it makes sense to you. It's like he has to go into the stream, and he has to be in the stream in the right way, and he's teaching the others of how to, go with the stream, and the stream represents these waves of change that are coming in for you. You know, this wave of change that is coming in for you. Another one of your challenges is your established strength, your inner strength. You're sort of doubting, you might be doubting how strong you really are. Like you're really like looking into yourself and saying, I'm not really that much, I'm not as powerful as I thought. There's a lack of self-belief, a lack of broadening your horizons. You're just sort of staying in this energy. Again, challenges, they're not necessarily going to happen to this extreme, but they will be present. They might pop up in your mind or pop up in your reality in some sort of way. But know that you are strong. You are strong. Don't deny your strength. Your strength is very powerful. You have a lot of inner strength, and you're going to be realizing how strong you are. But don't allow yourself to conform to whatever this is, because this is not obviously good for you. In more ways than one, to be honest. I literally said conform. I'm not even joking. Look, conform. Don't conform to it. The Hierophant represents like a conformity to the old ways of doing things. He's like this practitioner, and people go to him to get blessed and stuff like that. But the main story here for you is don't conform to the way things used to be. Don't conform to the way things used to be, because that's just going to leave you trapped in that same situation. It's not going to allow your power to come within you, your spiritual power. Remember, you're very spiritually powerful. And by you being like this, by conforming to saying that, I don't have any established strength. I haven't established any strength at all. Maybe situations have looked tough, and you don't doubt yourself. No, you do have the inner strength. Believe in yourself. I see belief and confidence within yourself about who you are is very, very important here. Especially resilience. Resilience has come up so many times here for you. I think it's not even strength that you need to realize. I think your realization, we've got your title now. You are very resilient. You are a very resilient Taurus. Like, you need to realize how resilient you are. It's come up multiple times. And you have the strength, you have the inner strength to move forward from this. I'm seeing like the wheel of fortune. Like, the wheel can move forwards and it can move backwards, as you begin a new cycle, as you begin a complete one and you begin a new one, the cycle can go backwards. You know, the wheel can spin backwards, or it can spin forwards. But as you go through midway of the cycle, of the wheel of fortune, you know, that of the actual cycle itself, as you go through the cycle, you know, the way back is lost because that energy doesn't exist anymore. It's when you're entering something new, things will try to hold you back, and this is, you know, kind of what's holding you back at this moment. You know, this sort of analysis paralysis, or should I move forward or should I not move forward? Um, Again, you need to really realize how much power you have. Look, you're showing up again. And again, look, you really need to realize that you're able to create wherever you want. You just need to follow your creative impulses. You need to follow your impulses a bit more. Your creative impulses, not just your impulses, okay? Your creative ones, the ones that are saying, you know, let me do something here and something magical might happen. Like, let me create this for myself. It could be an idea, it could be a physical thing, it could be a mental thing, it could be even spiritual, but something like, you know, you're like, you know, let me try being like this. That's a creative impulse. Or let me try thinking and looking at things like this. Again, creative impulse. You need to realize that you have a lot of power. You're very balanced. Very connected to the elements. Very, very connected to the elements. And you can create things from nothing. You can create things that are from a barren land. You have very abundant energy, and this is why, you know, if you're able to go through this, I feel like you are going to go through this successfully. Your outcome did show me that you are going to delve very deep into your shadow self and figure things out. Things are looking up for you. You're going to have multiple opportunities, multiple, and they're coming in hard and heavy. I'm hearing that's the only way you like it. Hard and pause. Hard and heavy. They're coming in for you very quickly. Things that you want. So I'm gonna leave your reading here. If you did like the reading, leave me a like, comment, subscribe, and I shall see you soon.